All this week, we're at the Wildlife Action Adventure Camp, and today we got a double treat. We're going to be visiting with the founder and president, Bunny Beeson, and the camp activities director, Frank Oliver. Stay tuned. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Wildlife Action Adventure Camp on the Little PD River in Mullins. We're focused on upcoming day camp and overnight camp, and we're visiting with the founder, Bunny Beeson. Good morning, Bunny.
Pleasure to see you, Giger.
Thanks so much for coming back, or for letting us back.
Oh, thank you.
We had such a thrilling time a year ago. It was last June. Of course, we were in the middle of camp, and now we got a little chance to pump it up beforehand.
Right, and I'm grateful to you.
No, not at all. I tell you, it's great for us to have an opportunity to get out on location at places. And, of course, recently we've been filming a lot back at the studio. So to get up here, and what a beautiful weather.
Yes, it's great.
What beautiful weather.
We have good weather here, we guarantee it.
You've got a direct connection to God.
Yeah, and then when it thunders and lightnings and the rain comes, we guarantee that too.
That's right.
Right there. The camp is full of adventure.
It's good for folks to get all avenues when they're out here. And, of course, with the day camp kicking off, is that June 6th?
June 6th to the 10th from 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock. We have a really super year planned for them this week. We've got some different things that we didn't have last year, and we're looking forward to it. We had to go into a different direction. We have been finding that if you repeat the same stuff, pretty soon it's redundant, of course. And so we're bringing in some more snakes that are not poisonous, where the children can find. I think you're going to have Frank on here with a snake.
A few minutes, absolutely.
Right, and the kids really find that fascinating. And we're bringing in some more Indian lore stuff that we didn't have last year. And so we're also bringing in some educational stuff on scales about how the farmers are losing some of their property. I-73 is being considered. And of course, farmers are losing to tobacco is being phrased out, and we got to come in with different crops. And so soil and water conservation is now becoming a thing, so we're going to concentrate a little bit on that this year.
That's wonderful.
I think it's going to be interesting.
Last year was so great hearing that you all have a theme, and I think last year was 1890.
That's exactly right.
Do you all do a theme every year?
Yeah, we do, and we let the kids actually tell us off season, sort of like what they like. And we're going this year, it's going to be, I think, 1863, that's Civil War type thing, and but that's how we do it, yeah.
I love it. I don't know if viewers can see behind your head, Tan Yard, leave your guns and razor at the door.
Well, actually, Tan Yard was the first community in Marion County. It's where the big PD and the little PD connect at the conjunction. And, of course, they tanned hides. And so that's Tan Yard. And, of course, then in 1866, excuse me, that's wrong, 1688, I got it back because I'm elected, they had bluebonnet plague. And so most of the people come, the rats and all from the British ships and colonists and all, and they moved up to a place called Centenary. That's center of the county, and that's a little bit of the history. So we let the kids know here where they're at, and that's why leave your guns and your razors at the door. They wouldn't, that's.
For viewers who may not have caught you last year, and of course it was so exciting last year to have been here for a whole week again, and of course to have you kick off the week and wrap up the week. The excitement of camp going on, the excitement now is the opportunity to promote to camp coming up. Are there some openings for the day camp?
We have openings for the day camps, and we have openings for the overnight camps, and we'd love to invite anybody to come, and we at www.wildlifeaction.com.
Okay.
And there's an application on that, or you can call 1-800-753-2264. But I think you've got Carolyn Bailey. She's going to be talking about pottery and some of the things that she does on camp. Okay. You got Frank sometimes today,
Frank's coming in right after you in about 10 minutes.
On snakes or something like that. And then you got me for the grand finale on Friday, don't you?
We do, and of course we got, I think Susan Carter's coming in a little bit to pump up the Foxtrot Festival.
Right, in Marion, which is just 9 miles, that's
Pete
right.
Mulford will be with us on Wednesday to talk a little bit about Marion
Pete's
County.
in charge of the hospital. They're doing a wonderful job, and of course the Foxtrot Festival is just a great thing, for Marion. Yeah,
absolutely. It was so exciting, of course, last year to have been here with you and Jim Battle and Pete, and of course there's another gentleman, Mr. Hancock, who came up with us from the beach. But, when we think about it, you pumped up that phone number, 800 753-2264.
Right.
The rates are reasonable for folks coming in for camp.
Yeah, $300 for overnight, $100 for a day camp.
Okay,
Yeah.
$100 for the whole week. That's Monday through
Right.
Friday.
Yeah, and we get insurance T-shirts, and we feed them, of course, and all that. And we have, to be honest with you, I try to shoot for about 75 for day camp. Last year we had 101, and I do have a cutoff date. So you can see we turned down 19. So we're not joking about they better get it in. It's a good thing. But the reason that you're pumping it up is because, as honest as I am about day camp, I have to be as honest about overnight camp. And overnight camp, we have some difficulty filling overnight camps because there's co-ed and they're sleeping. So we only got 20 beds for girls and 40 beds for boys, so that's 60. If it was a perfect world, we'd have 60 kids.
Right.
But we may have some kids that want to come to camp boys and not have beds, but we have empty beds for girls. So we are constantly trying to, sort of like a plane booking their, you know what I mean, and bumping. Yeah. So at the last minute, so please call us and try to get in. And we have we run camps all summer except for the week of the 4th of July.
So at wildlifeaction.com, folks can register online, or of course they can call the 800-753-2264.
And we'll send them an application or whatever, but they can push that little button down there on the bottom of that,
right,
and get their application mailed in.
That's wonderful.
Sure.
Now, folks, of course, have been coming to Wildlife Action Adventure Camp for a heck of a long time.
This is our 28th year of doing Wildlife Action. We started in 1977. It's a great thing. We haven't even talked about Wildlife Action, really.
No, I know.
But I'd like to do that. But this is our 25th year of camp, and we've had people from San Francisco and New Mexico and the Bronx, New York, and it's just a wonderful thing. You know, with the Air Force Base, when they left, a lot of those guys were Wildlife Action members, so they got spread all over the United States. And so now they come back to visit friends and vacation at Myrtle Beach and leave their child for us to babysit for a week.
For a whole week.
Yeah, that's right.
Great
So,
thinking.
so it works out really good because they can play golf or go out to a dinner or something, and we got the children, you know.
Absolutely.
And so it works real good.
What was the impetus for Wildlife Action at the get-go, Bunny?
Well, I'm an Eagle Scout, and I was a Scoutmaster for 15 years, and a lot of the guys grew up and became bankers, lawyers, and doctors. Jim Battle and all of them, you know. He's like them. So they came in and they said, we want to do something wholesome like that for our children. Can you, Bunny, don't do it, don't stop. And I've always wanted to do this. And so, of course, we bought this property, and it was a garbage dump, and cleaned it up and fixed it. We planted 45 trees this year. Carolyn Jabali is our Senior Vice President of Environment. She'll be on.
She'll be with us on
She
Thursday.
headed that up, and then Frank, of course, is working with her and different people. And we're making this camp better and better. We got Venus flytraps and the pitcher plants and stuff here now that we didn't have before last year. Coastal Carolina was working with us, Francis Marion, and all. But the whole concept and dream was to put something in a depressed area. Marion County, 20% unemployment, everything like I just told you about the tobacco farmers and all.
Sure.
I know I'm doing a lot of talking, but this is a good asset. It works, and it brings the children in, and we teach them about how to solve problems and how to meet the needs of today's people, and try to have something good for the county.
And you've got, of course, in the critical aspect, I remember last year when you were talking about it, 57 acres, but only taking advantage of 2.5 acres.
That's right. That's what I love going to Atlanta and watching the Braves and different things, but their zoo is great. It's only 50 acres. So I visit their zoo, and it's a matter of location. So we have a lot of swamp here, and Frank will tell you a little bit more about that. He's got a biology degree, but I think he was telling me earlier that we have the last stand of hardwoods on this piece of property because everything else has been timbered and cut. So it's a little tilly miniature Brook Green garden type thing, you know, that we're trying to save in its natural state and everything that's indigenous to this area.
So folks are able to come out, before
Walk the
camp
nature
or
trails,
after,
that's
come
right.
through. So,
Yeah.
and of course, I remember last year you talked about incredible turnouts for the pageants. Sometime in the middle of the week, big turnouts, folks from all over.
You're good. I'm glad you remember that. On Thursday night, we have Parents' Night, and we have whatever the theme is. 1890 last year, they have Indian pageants and that kind of stuff, and they really are fantastic. We have people that come to that don't even have kids at camp. They just come to see the pageant.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really good.
there is a ton going on every day. And of course, what are some of the big differences? You've got some great age opportunity for the day camps. We're talking 6 to 10, 6 to 11.
6 to 11,
okay.
yes. Okay.
And the overnights would
from
be
9 to 14.
Okay, great.
And what we do is they come in on Sunday afternoon, and then we give them their T-shirts and all that, and we break up into tribes, and they all go like the Wolf tribe or the Eagle tribe, and the Native American, of course, is our theme, and so they start learning and competing, and during the week they'll have kayaking and swimming and rifle and archery and all kinds of wonderful things. Mm-hmm. But we also have watermelon eating contests and tug of war and throwing me in the river and the whole 9 yards, you know. And so we teach them how gun safety, we teach them how to solve problems. Right. We don't have any radios and TVs or any video games of any kind. This is a conservation camp, and we teach them about how to live in the outdoors and enjoy the outdoors.
Now, on Friday, we'll be able to talk a little more about your 5-point law. And, of course,
sure.
we want to have a chance to get to Frank. And
That's
it's so exciting to be out here. There's so many aspects, though, when we think through a day for each of these children. But there's so many kids who are coming out here who more or less live sheltered lives, who are actually getting out and getting their hands dirty and doing things. I think of, you know, children around me and the excitement for them to get outdoors. But in an instance like this, it's just more than outdoors.
Well, I'll mention right now, we gave away 44 scholarships last year to come to camp, and we still have some now. So if they call, if there's a mother out there, a single parent that's got a child that wants to come to this camp, you call me at 1-800-753-2264, and I'll see about helping you get a scholarship to get your kid to camp.
That's a great commitment, Bunny. And, you know, you think about that. I think I remember last year you said it blew my mind that 48%, and the numbers may change, of your membership of Wildlife Action were women.
Absolutely. Here again, if I'm going to teach problem solving, I've got to help problem solve with some of Marion County and society today. Society today, most women have been married and have children, and the husband's gone, and it's not that all men are bad, but it's just the way life is, that both parents have to work, and it's just terrible times. As far as I'm concerned about enjoying life, and this is what I'm trying to give an opportunity for a child. You'd be surprised how many kids come here and leave and go back and make better grades in school because they've been here. I know that for a fact.
Oh, they're 1 week here.
Right. That's exactly right.
That is fantastic.
And a lot of them stay more than 1 week. We have about 87% return rate.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Bunny, thanks so much for being with us.
My
and
pleasure.
We're going to spend some time with Frank Oliver. Just stay here a second.
Okay.
And we'll get you back on Friday.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Stay tuned to more Carolina People. Frank Oliver coming up next.
Myrtle Beach's locally owned newspaper, for locals, by locals, about locals. The Myrtle Beach Herald, locally owned, locally operated, locally read. Subscribe now. Call 843-626-3131.
Good morning. Welcome back to Carolina People. This morning we're at Wildlife Action Adventure Camp on the Little Petey River in Mullins. We're visiting with Frank Oliver, the Camp Activities Director. Good morning, Frank. Oh, Frank and a friend, yeah.
Yeah, this is Steve. This is a ghost corn snake, and he's actually a different variety than our native species that we have. But this is Steve. This is one of our tools we use when we have the kids out here.
You've got, now is Steve out here on a pretty regular basis? Do you have a whole flurry of snakes out here, or is Steve
We actually have 4 snakes and 1 lizard, and we actually have a lot of kids. This week in particular, we've had 205 children come out, first and second graders. Yeah, first and second graders, and they always enjoy the snakes. And this is one of our favorites. He's very gentle. He doesn't hurt them.
Does he bite?
No, he doesn't. Now we do have one out here who he likes to bite.
That looks wild with it. When its tongue comes out, it looks like he's getting ready to do something dangerous.
Yeah, he's actually a little hungry. He hadn't ate this much.
Yeah, that's right. Don't tell me it's 7 a.m. Yeah, or 7:15. That's right.
Right.
So great getting Bunny a few minutes ago, and to hear him talking. Last year we were out here, it was during camp, and of course now I know y'all's applications are due the end of this month on the 27th for day camp, which kicks off, I think, June 6th.
That's right.
And then, of course, for you as the Camp Activities Director, you must be slammed all the time.
We are. We're really busy right now. You know, with all the classes coming out, it's great to see them. And then, plus, we're planning for our camps, and we have many activities for our children. One of the things that I do is I do wilderness instruction for the kids, and also do a lot of wildlife activities. One of my classes is called Techniques for Studying Wildlife. And it's really neat because we get to go out and set out a bunch of live traps out here in the swamps and in the different habitats, and we get to show the kids snakes and possums and coons, wood rats, box turtles, you name it. They all seem to, according on the bait you use, is the species that you catch.
Do the kids get into it, Frank?
They do. They really do. What's really great, one thing one of the kids asked me this past week was, what is this place? And so, I got to thinking about that. I said, well, I need to put that in every one of my classes. What is this place? And this place is a wildlife refuge. And it's a place that the animals can come and, they're safe, they're not hunted, they're protected. The only thing we do is we might trap a few of them to show the kids, and that's all for the benefit of the children, to show our next generation, give them a little bit of appreciation and a little bit of fascination, with nature.
Well, now, do you normally see kids out here who've grown up and have this just innate fascination, or do you see a lot of kids who are more or less like, why do I have to be out here, but then change over the week?
It's exactly like that. There is kids who, maybe their fathers are hunters or fishermen or something, and they come out here, but I really enjoy having the kids who've never been out in nature. Yeah. I can think of 2 little girls yesterday that were out here, and they said they've never been in the woods, never seen a raccoon, or anything. So to show them those raccoons and to give them a hands-on feeling for nature,
yeah.
It's a great experience for them. I think a good example is like last year with camp. My little boys came to camp for the first time last year. They're 9 and 10 years old. They've never been to camp, never been away from me really too much. So they were a little bit hesitant to come, But by the end of the week, I couldn't get them to leave. And this session, I've had to sign them up for 2 sessions of camp.
No way.
Yeah, they were on me hard. They wanted to come all 3, but they had to go to Atlanta on vacation with my mother one week. So
you said they're 9 and 11?
9 and 10.
9 and 10.
Yep.
So they'll be out for the overnight camp.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Both of them.
Yep. And
that must be exciting for you, Frank, to have them out here and to see them and to see the excitement for them going through it.
It is. They really enjoy it, like I said, and they've actually made friends with kids here that they still keep in contact with. They got a little fella that they met up the road from Georgia. We have people, really, I think it was 14 or 17 states were represented here last year at camp, and even had one kid from Canada come all the way down. And they make friendships that last a lifetime, they really do. These kids, they get close with the activities that we have. It's not only showing them nature, but it's also, like Bunny mentioned earlier, we're giving them a safe moral environment where they learn to deal with problems and deal with situations, and it's really exciting for them. I think one of the best things, it's called Adventure Camp, and adventure is the key word. We teach them environmental education, stewardship, fellowship, and fun, and they really have a lot of fun, and they have a lot of fellowship, and I'm really glad to be a part of it this year.
I think Bunny talked about in some of the cabins you got room for on the overnight, 40 boys, 20 girls. Do the girls tend to get into it? I've got a 2.5-year-old daughter, so I was wondering, will a girl get into this?
They really will. There's a little girl from Horry County. She started coming out here, and I remember the first time I met her, she hadn't been out very much. She didn't know a whole lot about nature or different things. Now she's telling me that she wants to be a zoologist, and she comes out here all the time just to walk around with me and ask me, what's this plant, what's this tree, what does it do for you? Because I was fortunate enough to study under one of the Southeast premier botanists, Dr. Larry Swells at Francis Marion. He's a great guy, and one of the most interesting things about his class was not just, this is a squaw root. He would tell me what its actual medicinal use was, or perhaps what they used it for in colonial times, or where it's found. So I like to always implement something like that in with my studies. I like to tell the kids, whether it's edible or not, or whether it's what its medicinal value might be. So it keeps it interesting.
That is exciting. Golly, for you, Frank, and of course to see the excitement in the kids' faces. And you said you've been involved in Wildlife Action for how long now? A little more than a year?
Yeah, a little more than a year. I actually, my kids, when they started coming out here, I started volunteering, helping Bunny. And then along the way, things have progressed, and I'm fortunate enough to be on staff with them now. And I do a variety of things out here. I'm the camp activities director, and I'm the senior vice president of the education division. But we do river trips. We do guided river trips. I'm the river guide. Yep. And we go up and down, all up on the coast of South Carolina. We do the Waccamaw River, the Big PD, the Little PD, Sparkleberry Swamp down at Santee. So we're kind of all over.
Now, of course, Wildlife Action with 14-some thousand members, of course, from all over the country. As Bunny talked about earlier this morning, last year, so many of the folks at Myrtle Beach International Airport or Myrtle Beach Air Force Base had a lot of folks here, and they've gone to multiple locations. I know it's tough for you with Steve. Steve's in action there, but you think about aspects like that, and of course, you've got a ton of life members around here.
We do. We have. I'm not exactly sure of the number, but it's in the hundreds of life members.
Wow.
And so people always And once this place is always open to the public. The public can come out here at any time and check out. We have a wide variety of things going on out here. And we, as Bunny mentioned earlier, we have a bunch of new additions as well.
Right.
We've been fortunate enough to have Francis Marion. They're giving us technical advice and even donated bat houses out here for us.
Wow.
So we have a bat house program going on, and we're working with Bat Conservation International and giving them our research and our data as far as colonization dates and survivability and things like that. And then
bats.
also of bats.
Yeah.
And that's a great teaching tool too.
That must be.
I think my first question I ask kids is, who out here hates snakes? And I ask them the same thing with bats. Who hates bats? And then I tell them I love bats. I love snakes, and I tell them why. They're very beneficial to us. So it's great to be able to show kids that just because you hear something, or even adults,
Right.
just because you hear things growing up or whatever, it's not necessarily true. I give an example in our classes of places where snakes, their habitat's gone. In some instances, they're having real bad problems with mice and with disease and things because the balance in nature isn't there anymore. And so it's a great teaching tool.
How exciting. You're right. I'm sure there's a lot of folks who get scared just thinking about bats or snakes. And, of course, the excitement for them, not that they're necessarily touching and feeling on them. Obviously, there are restraints here. I mean, you want the camp for all parents, even the ones who be potentially afraid of their kids being out in the wild. You want them to feel comfortable. And, of course, you encourage the parents to come out.
Sure, yeah. And it's a safe environment. Bunny calls it controlled chaos. We want them to have as much fun as they can have, but it is safe. We have plenty of instructors and lots of volunteers, who come out and give of their time just to be able to come out here and help the kids. So
right.
We're very grateful for all that.
Last year when we were filming on the other side of the cabin here, there was a anesthesiologist at Grand Strand Regional Medical Center standing right behind us. Of course, a guy would be proficient if something happens. I know you have nurses out here
Yes.
during the time.
Right. I always have a nurse on station.
And the excitement there to know there's something, if anything was to ever go awry, for parents to know. And, of course, y'all have a real good tack as to where all the kids are virtually at all times.
That's right. We have a number of adults, and then we also have our junior counselors, which are usually college students.
Right.
And we have, we call them the Rough Riders and the Foxy Ladies. And those are the kids who have been out here to camp before and have a good feel of it. And they're the leaders within the lodges, So there's a lot of supervision, but even though it's supervised, the kids might think that they're going to be held down and, be stuck doing this, that, but there's lots of free time, too, and they get a chance to explore and look and check out a lot of the things that we have here. Another interesting thing that we have here at the refuge this year is our bog, and I think our bog garden, and Bunny mentioned it briefly, but it's really neat to be able to show kids. We have 4 variety of carnivorous plants within our bog gardens. 4? Yeah, and those are, carnivorous plants, of course, are plants that eat insects for nutrition. They naturally evolved in mineral-rich or nutrient-poor soils, so they evolved into eating insects to get their nutrition. And we have different type pitcher plants, 2 different pitcher plants, Venus flytraps, as well as floating bladderwort, and all those are insect-eating plants. So that's pretty neat to get to show kids.
That must be for kids. They must be thrilled. Now, can you actually see them in action, like going after a?
Well,
insect?
you get to see the insects inside being being digested.
Wow.
So it's pretty neat. And the Venus flytraps, they're closed, but they close slowly. So you can't really just see them snap at them, but it's still really interesting. And it's a nice bog garden. It's actually got a pond in it. And we've got like little logs growing in there. It's about a 12 by 16. It's a large bog garden. The one at Francis Marion, which I helped Dr. Swells develop, it's a 4 by 4, and it's a really nice bog. But ours, like I said, it's a 12 by 16. So they get to see a lot of different. There's microhabitats in it. And there's predation going on, and all these different things they get to view in it.
That is exciting, Frank. We've almost run out of time. Maybe we can ask Bunny if he can spend a little time, a little less time with us on Friday to get you back in for a few minutes, because this is very exciting. I think kids must get thrilled about the opportunity to get out here and really learn more. And of course, for parents, The phone number, 800-753-2264. That's a good working number. I mean, there's...
If no one's in the office, you leave a message and you'll definitely get back with. And the same thing on the internet, www.wildlifeaction.com.
Okay.
And we really encourage people to come out and take a look around. Even if even if you're not a member, it's free. It's open to the public. And just to get people out here and to get a chance to look at some of the beautiful places in nature, and especially this area here,
Absolutely.
It's one of the few remaining old growth tracts of mature hardwoods around. So
we'll talk a little about that on Friday. Thanks so much for being with us this morning,
okay.
Frank.
Thanks, Greg.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Frank Oliver and his friend Steve coming up next. The phone number is 800-753-2264. The website's wildlifeaction.com. The place for friends like this is the Wildlife Action Adventure Camp in Mullins on the Little Petey River. Take the time to give them a call. Go online to find out what it's all about. The first day camp kicks off on June 6th. Overnights kick off on June 19th. You got to give them a call to learn more. Very reasonable, and there's still some scholarship opportunities. Give them a call.